Does MagSafe actually work on a phone that folds in half? Samsung didn't put a single magnet inside the Z Fold 8. Every accessory that claims MagSafe compatible is only as good as the case sitting between it and your phone. We put 6 of them through the ringer to find out which ones actually snap into place and stay there, and which ones are just writing the keyword. I'll show you the one that beat everything, but first, the ones you should skip. 6. Foldable 5-in-1 magnetic charging station / power bank. We're starting with this 5-in-1 magnetic charging station, and it's a genuinely useful idea let down by fine print. You get a folding desktop stand, a detachable 10,000 mAh power bank, and magnetic wireless charging in one unit. Vertical for video calls, horizontal for typing, fold it flat and toss it in a bag. For a phone the size of the Z Fold 8, having a stand that also charges you on the go is a real convenience, not a gimmick. Here's the catch, and it's right there in the listing if you scroll far enough. All phones need a magnetic case. The Z Fold 8 doesn't ship with built-in Qi2 magnets. Nothing Samsung makes right now does. So this stand is only ever as strong as whatever magnetic case you're running underneath it. And right now, this specific listing still advertises compatibility for the Z Fold and Flip 7, not the 8. That's not necessarily a deal breaker, since the magnetic pole itself doesn't care what phone is on the other side of the case. But it does mean nobody's actually confirmed this handles the Fold 8's extra weight and slightly different balance point. You're trusting generic Qi2 hardware to do a job it hasn't been specifically tested for yet. If you're mounting this on a desk, the detachable power bank is the real selling point. Pull it off, take it with you, snap it back on when you're home. But if you're expecting rock-solid magnetic hold strong enough to lift the phone one-handed off the charger, don't count on it here. There's no published holding force figure at all, which usually means it's on the weaker end of what's out there. Verdict: fine as a backup or travel charger once you already have a solid magnetic case, but not the accessory to build your setup around. 5. UZLNL 25 watts Qi 2.2 magnetic charger with kickstand. If you want a charger that's actually built with the Fold 8's charging ceiling in mind, instead of just chasing a bigger number, the UZLNL 25 watt magnetic charger is next. It's Qi 2.2 certified, folds down flat with a built-in kickstand, and runs an overcharge/overcurrent/overheat protection chip. So it's not just a bare coil in a shell. The honest catch? That 25 watt rating is mostly wasted on this phone. The Z Fold 8 tops out at 20 watts wireless, even over Qi 2, so you're paying for headroom you'll never use. It's not a bad charger, it's just built for a spec sheet the Fold 8 doesn't max out. And like most of these chargers, its own marketing lists iPhone, Pixel, and Galaxy S25/S26 by name. Fold 8 isn't mentioned anywhere in the listing, which tells you this is a generic Qi 2 puck riding the magnetic accessory wave rather than something engineered around a foldable's shape or weight. That matters more than it sounds like. A slab phone sits flat and centers its weight evenly over a charging pad. A book-style foldable like the Z Fold 8 is heavier, and depending on which half is facing down, its weight isn't centered the way a flat charger expects. None of that shows up on a spec sheet, and UZLNL hasn't said anything about testing this with a foldable specifically. Where it does earn its spot, the kickstand actually folds flat and stays put, and the safety chip is a real feature, not marketing fluff. Overheating is a legitimate concern with any magnetic charger holding a big battery in place for hours. Verdict: a competent, safe charger that happens to work with the Fold 8 through a magnetic case, but not one built for it. 4. Aulumu G09 Magnetic Ring Grip. Moving from something you charge on to something you hold, the Aulumu G09 Magnetic Ring Grip swaps a charging pad for an aluminum alloy ring that snaps onto the back of your case and rotates in every direction. It's less about power and more about not dropping a phone this size one-handed, which, on a book-style foldable, is a real problem the moment you unfold it. The catch is that Aulumu hasn't published a holding force number anywhere I could find, which is worth noticing on a grip whose entire job is staying attached while you're gripping it. Compare that to the cases we're about to get to, which do publish gram or newton figures for their built-in magnets. When a company skips that number, it's usually because it isn't a flattering one. I won't guess at a figure, but I will say aluminum alloy doesn't automatically mean strongest magnet. Those are two different specs. There's also a table wobble consideration nobody talks about with ring grips. Once it's attached to the back of a case that already has a raised camera bump, you've stacked a metal ring on top of that bump. Depending on where you mount it, you can make the phone rock even harder when it's lying flat on a desk, which somewhat defeats the point if you also bought a case specifically designed to sit flush. On the plus side, the omnidirectional rotation is genuinely nice for switching between portrait video calls and landscape typing without repositioning your whole hand. And the dual-sided magnetic attachment means it can double as a small kickstand in a pinch. Verdict: a decent grip if you mainly want drop insurance, but don't expect it to outhold a dedicated case magnet because nobody's confirmed it does. 3. Belkin 3-in-1 Wireless Charging Station. Belkin's 3-in-1 wireless charging station is the most complete charger on this list. Qi 2.2 at 25 watts, a modular tray that fits Apple, Google, or Samsung Galaxy Watch charging pucks, and it actually ships with a 45-watt power adapter and a 5-foot cable, so you're not buying a $2,500 warranty on a charger you then have to power separately. The catch is a real one. Belkin's own spec sheet caps case compatibility at 3 mm thick. That sounds generous until you put it next to a rugged case with a full hinge cover, raised camera bezels, and a built-in kickstand. Those can easily clear that number, especially once you stack a magnetic wallet on top. Go over 3 mm, and Belkin's own advice is blunt: remove the case or switch to a MagSafe compliant one. That's a real limitation if you want both serious drop protection and a fast charging stand. The smartwatch tray is a genuinely smart piece of design most competitors skip. Instead of building in yet another proprietary Apple Watch puck nobody with a Galaxy Watch can use, Belkin lets you drop your own official charger into the tray. It's the kind of detail that tells you this wasn't built exclusively for an iPhone crowd and then ported over to also works with Android as an afterthought. Verdict: the most fully featured desk charger on this list, and the one I'd actually recommend for a home setup. Just pair it with a slim case, not a bulky one, or you'll fight that 3 mm ceiling every time you set the phone down. 2. BENKS ArmorGrid Pro Grand Combo for Galaxy Z Fold 8. At number 2 is the BENKS ArmorGrid Pro Grand Combo, and it solves the single most common case and accessory headache before it starts. The box comes with a matched Glass Warrior HD screen protector built for this exact case, on top of a genuine Kevlar and TPU back case and a color-matched front frame. That matters because a raised inner lip pushing up tempered glass at the corners is one of the most common case return triggers out there. BENKS sidesteps the whole problem by shipping a protector actually designed for this case's bezel height, instead of leaving you to gamble on a third-party one. The honest catch, and it's a fair one because BENKS actually publishes the number, the built-in magnet is rated at 10 newtons of holding force. Compare that to the TORRAS case we're about to get to, which publishes 18 newtons, nearly double. You'll still get a secure snap for a wireless charger sitting flat on a desk, but if you're hanging heavier accessories off the back, like a car mount or a magnetic power bank, a stronger magnet gives you more margin, especially with a phone this size and weight. One more thing worth flagging before you buy. BENKS sells an almost identically named ArmorGrid combo for the Z Fold 8 Ultra, and the product photos and titles are close enough that it's genuinely easy to grab the wrong one. Double-check the listing says Z Fold 8, the wide one, and not Z Fold 8 Ultra before you check out, because those two phones are shaped differently, and the cases are not interchangeable. Verdict: the most complete out-of-the-box protection kit on this list, held back only by a magnet that's noticeably weaker than the top pick, and a naming mix-up that's genuinely easy to fall into. 1. TORRAS Ostand L1, case for Galaxy Z Fold 8. And at number 1, the TORRAS Ostand L1 case is the one that actually earns the MagSafe claim, instead of just wearing it as a marketing sticker. The built-in N52 magnetic array is rated at 18 newtons, the strongest published figure on this entire list, paired with a stainless steel kickstand that folds completely flat into the back of the case, so you're not choosing between a stand and a slim profile. The genuine strength here is how the stand interacts with the camera bump. Instead of one flat slab covering the whole camera housing, TORRAS built the stand and the case around isolated support points, so the phone sits flush on a desk instead of rocking on the corner of its camera module, a problem that shows up constantly on foldables with big rear camera housings. It also ships with 2 screen protectors already included, which, combined with that 18N magnet, means you're not compromising fit for either the front glass or the back magnet strength. The honest catch? Military grade here is TORRAS's own internal testing claim, not something independently certified by a third party as far as I could confirm. That distinction matters if certified drop ratings are a deal breaker for you specifically. And because this case launched alongside a phone that's been on shelves for a matter of days, there's simply no long-term data yet on how the finish holds up, whether any clear elements yellow over time, or how the hinge cover performs after a few thousand folds. Nobody's had this case long enough to know that yet, and I won't pretend otherwise. Verdict: the strongest magnet, the smartest camera bump design, and a kickstand that doesn't cost you thickness. The clear pick if you're building a MagSafe setup on the Z Fold 8, with the only real caveat being that it's simply too new to have a track record. Closing recap plus CTA. So here's how this breaks down by what you need. Strongest magnet and smartest stand. That's the TORRAS Ostand L1 at number 1. Want a screen protector guaranteed to fit with zero lip conflict? Grab the BENKS combo instead. Just confirm your link says Pro and Z Fold 8, not Air or Ultra. Building a desk setup. The Belkin station is the most complete charger here. Want a grip for one-handed use? The Aulumu ring does the job once you've already got a magnetic case underneath. And if you just need a basic charger or a travel power bank, the UZLNL and the 5-in-1 station both work. They're just generic. Remember, none of it holds without a solid magnetic case doing the actual work. Links to everything are below in order. Let me know in the comments which one you're grabbing.